As Freedom Summer moved towards August, the state's Democratic Party met to select delegates to the National Convention. As usual, blacks were not allowed to participate, but this would be no ordinary election year. 2 weeks later, the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party chose its own delegates to challenge the right of the all-white regulars to represent the state. The MFDP emphasized that it was open to all citizens.
The Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party is only beginning, and it is beginning on the basis that it believes that a political party should be open to all the people who wish to subscribe to its principles. That means it's open to even the son of the planter on whose plantation you work, if that son has reached the point that he's willing to subscribe to your principles.
The MFDP delegation of 64 blacks and 4 whites prepared to leave for Atlantic City. Their goal was to be seated at the Democratic National Convention as the true representatives of their home state. For many, it was their first trip out of Mississippi. For all, this was the culmination of Freedom Summer, the final opportunity to open up Mississippi to the nation. Atlantic City, New Jersey, site of the 1964 Democratic Convention. Lyndon Johnson expected no opposition in getting his party's nomination, but was concerned the MFDP would disrupt party unity. With the arrival of the Freedom Democrats on August 20th, there were now 2 delegations in town from Mississippi. The Democratic Party would have to decide which would represent the state on the convention floor. That decision would be made by the Credentials Committee. On Saturday, August 22nd, America watched this nationally televised hearing.
It is the very terror that these people are living through that is the reason that Negroes aren't voting, that they're kept out of the Democratic Party by the terror of the regular party. And what I want the Credentials Committee to hear is the terror which the regular party uses on the people of Mississippi, which is what Reverend King was explaining, which is what Aaron Henry was explaining, and which is what the next witness will explain, Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer.
My name is Mrs. Fannie Lou Hamer, and I live at 626 East Lafayette Street, Rooseville, Mississippi. Sunflower County, the home of Senator James O. Eastland and Senator Stinney. It was the 31st of August in 1962 that 18 of us traveled 26 miles to the county courthouse in Indianola to try to register to become first-class citizens. We was met in Indianola by policemen, highway patrolmen, and they only allowed 2 of us in to take the literacy test at the time. After we had taken this test and started back to Rooseville, we was held up by the city police and the state highway patrolmen and carried back to Indianola, where the bus driver was charged that day with driving a bus the wrong color. After we paid the fine among us, we continued on to Rooseville, and Reverend Jeff Sonny carried me 4 miles in the rural area where I had worked as a timekeeper and sharecropper for 18 years. I was met there by my children that told me the plantation owner was angry because I had gone down, tried to register. After they told me, my husband came and said the plantation owner was raising Cain because I had tried to register. And before he quit talking, the plantation owner came and said, Fannie Lou, do you know, did Pap tell you what I said? And I said, yes, sir. He said, well, I mean that, said if you don't go down and withdraw your registration, you will have to leave. Said then if you go down and withdraw, So you still might have to go because we're not ready for that in Mississippi. And I addressed him and told him that I didn't try to register for you. I tried to register for myself. I had to leave that same night. On the 10th of September, 1962, 16 bullets were fired into the home of Mr. and Mrs. Robert Tucker for me. That same night, 2 girls were shot in Rooseville, Mississippi. Also, Mr. Joe McDonald's house was shot in. In June the 9th, 1963, I had attended a voter registration workshop, was returning back to Mississippi. 10 of us was traveling by the Continental Trailway bus. When we got to Winona, Mississippi, which is Montgomery County, 4 of the people got off to use the washroom. And 2 of the people to use the restaurant. 2 of the people wanted to use the washroom. The 4 people that had gone in to use the restaurant was ordered out. During this time, I was on the bus. But when I looked through the window and saw they had rushed out, I got off of the bus to see what had happened. And one of the ladies said it was a state highway patrolman and a troop of police ordered us out. I got back on the bus, and one of the persons who had used the washroom got back on the bus too. As soon as I was seated on the bus, I saw when they began to get the 5 people in a highway patrolman's car. I stepped off of the bus to see what was happening, and somebody screamed from the car that the fire workers was in and said, "Get that one there." And when I went to get in the car, when the man told me I was under arrest, he kicked me. I was carried to the county jail and put in the booking room. They left some of the people in the booking room and began to place us in cells. I was placed in a cell with a young woman called Miss Vesta Simpson. After I was placed in the cell, I began to hear sounds of licks and screams. I could hear the sounds of licks and horrible screams. And I could hear somebody say, "Can you say yes, sir, nigga? Can you say yes, sir?" And they would say other horrible names. She would say, "Yes, I can say yes, sir." So I said, she said, "I don't know you well enough." They beat her, I don't know how long. And after a while, she began to pray and ask God to have mercy on those people. And it wasn't too long before 3 white men came to my cell. One of these men was a state highway patrolman. And he asked me where I was from. And I told him Louisville. He said, "We're going to check this." And they left my cell, and it wasn't too long before they came back. He said, "You're from Louisville, all right," and he used the curse word. And he said, "We're going to make you wish you was dead." I was carried out of that cell into another cell where they had 2 Negro prisoners. The state highway patrolman ordered the first Negro to take the blackjack. The first Negro prisoner ordered me, by orders from the state highway patrolman, for me to lay down on a bunk bed on my face. And I laid on my face. The first Negro began to beat. And I was beat by the first Negro until he was exhausted. I was holding my hands behind me at that time on the left side because I suffered from polio when I was 6 years old. After the first Negro had beat until he was exhausted, the state highway patrolman ordered the second Negro to take the blackjack. The second Negro began to beat, and I began to work my feet. And the state highway patrolman ordered the first Negro had beat to sit on my feet, to keep me from working my feet. I began to scream, and one white man got up and began to beat me in my head and tell me to hush. One white man, my dress had worked up high. He walked over and pulled my dress. I pulled my dress down, and he pulled my dress back up. I was in jail when Matthew Evans was murdered. All of this is on account of we want to register to become first-class citizens. And if the Freedom Democratic Party is not seated now, I question America. Is this America, the land of the free and the home of the brave, where we have to sleep with our telephones off of the hook because our lives be threatened daily, because we want to live as decent human beings in America? Thank you.
All right, what is good, my people? We are live, back with another live broadcast, and I'm not gonna be on here too long. I'm gonna get off here at 9 because I got a live premiere coming on here at 9, and there's a new video. So I meant to do it yesterday, but these videos take a long time to make. You know what I'm saying? They don't even count the research you got to do. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat right now for whoever want to come on, because like I said, it ain't gonna be too long, and I don't want to go too deep. What's going on, guy? And I appreciate all of y'all for watching. Let me put the link in the chat real quick. All right, so anybody want to come on, you can come on. But let me get right into it, because I'm gonna be real, man. I'm sick of black people in this slave mentality. We really got to get out of this slave mentality where we just do whatever somebody tells us to do. You know what I'm saying? If they have a different color, because you won't do it if it's you won't listen if the person looks like you, but you listen and don't even do your own research about what they're saying. You can't believe everything anybody be saying, especially your known enemies. And I don't know what it took for us to be like stuck in this whole democratic plantation stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like how we fought to be a part of every piece of this society that literally fought us to not be a part of that society, because we could have been putting that effort in on our own. And then today we have so many people, because before, what's going on, Bakari?
Peace, my man. Peace.
Yeah. Yeah, but the with the Democratic Party, like when we was a couple of months ago, when we were sitting here talking about, the lesser of two evils. First of all, there is no such thing as the lesser of two evils. You're literally sitting there voting for evil, period. What's going on, Melanin? Always, it's been a minute. But our people are so sick that no matter what this person does, they will make excuses because they tried to push known racist, probably a pedophile, all of that stuff down our throat. They told us we was irresponsible for talking about good old Joe and all the stuff that he did, but now people was go out the way to defend it. Well, it was Trump. Well, at least when Trump was in office, people was ready to make a move. People was actually doing something. God. You want to wrench, but I don't have no mods. I'm not even modded on here. I had to figure out how to do that after the show. But this older generation pushing this, being a slave stuff, being a part of this society stuff, being a part of trying to assimilate into the society, because Fannie Lou Hamer said in 1962, 1963, whatever year, this is what we've been through to be a part of America. Why would you go through that to be a part of America? How is that even psychologically normal? Why would you think that's okay? And now we have people saying, well, just go vote Democrat, just vote down the list, vote Democrat. If you ask them one policy that the Democrats have, they couldn't tell you. You know, and this is kind of what I wanted to get into today. So Brother Bakar, I'm gonna let you go ahead and real quick.
You know what? When Fannie Lou Hamer was speaking, and she talked about how, though, because there were black men that beat her, right? And we have done everything to try to be a part of this society, right? And you're right, that is sickening. But they have you at a point to you want to prove to somebody else how great you are or how good you are. But we're not willing to prove it to ourselves. It is a sickness. It is a mental disease. It's a mental disorder. That's part of the mental health that's in our community. Those black men beating that black woman. Us begging to be accepted. Us begging to be a part. Want to be with people that hate you for whatever reason. I don't get it. Like I put in the chat. She said she was in jail when they killed Medgar Evers, right? Medgar Evers wouldn't sell out. They beat Fannie Lou Hamer. She wouldn't sell out. They burned a cross in my daddy's yard. Trust me, I'm telling you. My dad knew Medgar Evers too. They burned a cross in his yard. He wouldn't sell out. Those people believed in fighting back and believed in standing up for self. And there's not enough of us today that believe in that. We have been hoodwinked to believe that if you march and pray and say, I know you've heard black people say this, I love everybody. Like if you say you love everybody, that's gonna change your condition, right? And that, you know what? Because you had told me about this show. So this morning, oh my God, I can't even think of the song now. Oh shit. I'm sorry, cousin on your channel. But it's a song we used to sing, or they used to sing in church. And we would sing. The song was basically I'm going to remember that song before we leave here, because I was singing it to myself this morning, and I said I got to tell Forecast about it. How our people condition you when you little in church. No more dying there. We are going to see the King. Hallelujah, hallelujah. We are going. From the time you are little in church, your people are teaching you that just everything here, just put up with it. You gonna be okay when you go to church. What there's no more dying. And see, I didn't have to go to church a lot, but I've heard people singing this song. I'm not gonna lie to you and say I was in the church choir. No more dying there. We are going to see the King. They're gonna leave all this behind. We gonna get our peace in heaven. We gonna go see the King, and when you get to heaven, no more dying, because we going to see the King. Is mental illness, right? And it can piss you off. But then you have to sit and think about it. The same way you say you don't go in on coons like most people. When you say survival instincts, teaching from the time from the time you're little. When you go in church and sing, we're gonna sing that song today. No more dying there. I'm going to remember the rest of the words. We are going to see the King. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. We are going to see the King. You know, when I was little and I'm listening to people sing, I was like, ooh, the church choir sound good. But as I got older, and me and you had discussed this show, that shit hit me this morning about 6:30 while I'm on the highway driving that dump truck. I'm like, I got to tell Forecast about this. He can talk about that. I should see if I can find it. But it's a mental illness. Just like go vote Democrat. Don't care who's running. Just vote for them because they're Democrat, right? Or watch this. The so-called ADOS movement, them and their leaders. What did they say? Vote down ballot. Don't vote for a president, vote for everything else, but make sure you vote Democratic. They said that about 3 minutes after they complained about how Democrats ain't done nothing for black folks and sold us up the river. But then you turn around and say, vote down ballot, vote Democratic. Like, what the hell? But they're for sale. And that woman you played, Fannie Lou Hamer, she was not for sale. They couldn't buy her. Don't care what they did. That was a powerful woman. You can find this on YouTube too. When she was talking, she was in the Oval Office with what his name? Kennedy. And she was talking about how she want all the Negroes, all American-born Africans, black folks, to start arming themselves. And Kennedy said, why should you? Why should black people arm themselves? Now, they cut this off. This was on TV. They cut it off, right? But why? She was like, I don't trust white folks. I'm in the Oval Office with you right now, and you the president, and I got my gun on me. That was a powerful woman that couldn't be bought. Did she make mistakes? Yeah, because she's stuck up in this system. It's hard not to make a mistake in this system. It's hard not to be crazy. It's hard for us not to be crazy in this system. All of us is a little crazy. But we're going to have to work through that and start looking at ourselves to talk about what we're going to build up and how we can build. We have to stop looking at those people or any other people to do for us when we smart, brilliant, and talented people, when we have the intelligence, the know-how, and can do everything. Right? We have the ability to do any and everything anybody else do. So we have to stop looking outside of ourselves, hoping somebody do for us, and look inside and pull that greatness out so we can witness how great we are, so we can become major players, so we can become a global people, not living everywhere on the globe, so we can become a powerful people and working together all over the globe, here, Jamaica, Haiti, the continent of Africa, wherever you see us in Europe, we are supposed to know that we are together. And that's what we're going to have to do. But right now, too many people, or like you named the show, survival instincts, too many people living off the survival instinct. There's a survival. And I hear the mic.
Yeah, that's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And I named it well, it wasn't particular because the video I got premiere coming up, that was like called Survival Instinct. But I'm gonna be real, you know, I came on this show like because I'm sick of this old Negro slave mentality that too many people have. Like I said, I'm not as hard on the coon, but I'm gonna drag you out of that slave mentality if I got to. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of saying maybe I might change one person. No, we're changing what we have to change. We're doing what we have to do right now. And I don't care what nobody thinks about it or none of that. This old Negro slave mentality that we got in our community, that's the only thing that's holding us back, because you're just scared. You don't want to do anything. You talk about vote down the list, you know what I'm saying, because they're a Democrat. Name one other group of people that's going to just vote down the list. And for a group of people who you had to fight to even join them in the first place, but who are telling you, I'm not going to do nothing for you, right? I'm probably not black because I ain't vote for Joe Biden. And the problem is too many black people, they sat up there and they told you to go vote Democrat, to go do this, go do that. Now they have to actually defend what they try to tell you to do, right? Instead of actually really calling out what it is. Now they're just getting them part of their political system. But I mean, it's okay to say that you were wrong. It's okay to say that you didn't listen to none of that stuff. You know what I'm saying? But no, they're going to tell you, no, well, he couldn't do it because of Trump. Well, why couldn't Obama do it? Well, he couldn't do it because of Bush. Well, why couldn't Bill Clinton do it? Well, he couldn't do it because of the other George Bush. No, that's a slave mentality. This Negro slave mentality of keep your head down. Can you tell me one policy that the person you're voting for is doing? Can you tell me one policy that is a Democratic policy? You're not no Democrat, you're not no Republican, because guess what? You still are under the what's it called? You're not a citizen of this the slave trial from like the 1800s. I forget right now, but you are not a citizen at all, right? They extend the right to vote to you. Why? Because you literally fought them to do that. You could have fought to build your own and do all of this other stuff. Now, the Republicans, their talking points about the Democrats are right, because what's going on in the cities like that, where we sit up here and we glorify the drug dealers, where a lot of the people that we know in our communities, and a lot of people we know, and I'm not saying anybody individually, but a lot of people we know get locked up or on drugs or selling drugs. And we glorify that kind of stuff in our community. That's not our mentality. That's not what we come from. That's some stuff that's been beat into you. But instead of actually getting mad, because when Donald Trump was in office, people was mad enough to do something, or at least mad enough to talk about it and pay attention to politics. But now Joe Biden, then you're going to excuse everything he just did. Dude just had a bunch of people beat. Well, that's not Joe Biden's fault. Everything that he did, oh, that's not his fault. But everything Trump does, oh, well, that is his fault. Guess what? It's all their faults. They're on the same team. I don't understand how people don't understand that. And especially a certain generation of us, right? And I hate to put it on a certain generation, but that integration generation, the first, like the kids from the 60s who went to school, the first generation to be integrated, they are the ones who don't know who their real enemy is. We are starting to get it back. But I don't know how LBJ said, I'm going to have these Negroes voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And we doing it. Right? Because if I can figure that out, I'm going to say, I'll have these Negroes building their own communities for the next 200 years, and we'll do that. But no, I must not have the right skin color for us to say that, for us to do that. I mean, it's a sickness. Look at what's going on. It's poverty. Are they putting money into our schools? They talk about integration. Are our schools really integrated? Because when I went to school, even high school, all of that stuff, it was like probably 2 or 3 white people in there. But guess what? The textbooks that we had didn't even have the current president in it. You know what I'm saying? You had people from people from like 10 years ago. You know, I graduated in 05, but you got people signing the book from 1991. You know your tax money is being taken. You don't know that your tax money is being taken. And you had ancestors that said taxation without representation. You know, they stood up against all of that stuff. But you still being taxed and you still being underrepresented, and you gonna go tell other black people to do it when you can't even tell their policies? I wouldn't want the Democrats taxing me more money because they're not doing anything for me. But that's not to say anything about the Republicans, because they like to say, well, look at the last 50 years. Well, before 50 years, there was Jim Crow. That's the Republicans. But guess what? During Jim Crow, you knew who your friends were. You knew who your community were, who was in your community. You knew who your enemy was, most importantly. And our enemy is everybody, of course. But we don't even understand that. And it's not even about nobody else. It's about us, because once we get on the code and do the stuff that we need to do, who can stop us? That's how powerful you are, that you had to be kidnapped to be brought to this country. But this certain generation, you know, they don't even care about if the policies affect them negatively as long as you vote down the ballot. What kind of sickness is that you don't even expect nothing for your vote? A vote that they still have to vote every 25 years for you to have. And this is okay with us? Well, yeah, my fault, Bakar. Yeah, you can go ahead, my brother.
No, you good, man. I found that song, but I'm just talking because you was talking about the mental illness. Look what they're teaching us to sing. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. They are teaching us just die. This world ain't nothing, just die, because there's nothing you can do You understand what I'm saying? There's nothing you can do here. Just die. Soon and very soon, we are going to see the King. No more crying there, no more dying there, no more lying there, because we going to see the King. We just gonna be up there worshiping the King forever. Ain't done nothing on earth, have not tried to improve our conditions as a people. But we gonna get to heaven, and it's just gonna be a ball with everybody, because everybody gonna be the same in heaven. The slaves up there right now with the slave master, with the overseer, with the straw balls. Those black women up there right now with those white men that raped them, because they say they were Christians. But this is the mentality that and I'm not knocking anyone's belief. Don't get it wrong. But I'm just talking about the psychosis, the psychology, the things that we have been taught. That's absolutely crazy. The things that we follow. And here we are today in 2021. I'm going to ask this question. How many, has anyone in the chat even read one page of the book, We Will Shoot Back? Has anyone even listened to, because you can find it on YouTube. I listen to a lot of books when I'm riding. Has anyone read it? Because if we read it, we will start seeing ourselves in a different light. We wouldn't always see ourselves as the ones being beaten and killed. We would see like, damn, we were able to do that. All we needed was more numbers. We were able to do that. When Martin Luther King first marched, they were afraid, the white folks, and was afraid to hit them, white cops afraid to come out there in Virginia because they had been sniped. Mississippi and Alabama because they had been sniped or beaten. Look it up. You can read this. If we gonna study history, let's start studying some history that can motivate us. Some history more up to date. I love. So did you like the book Melanin Always? I love our African history. That's good to know everything that we have done. But it's also good to know under this oppression here and under everything that we have been subjugated to, oppression, depression, suppression, compression, any kind of pressure you can think of, we have been in that vice. We have been under pressure. We need to see some of our people that was under pressure that was able to win and saw things different. We know Marcus Garvey. That was great. I love him. I say he's the greatest leader ever, an inspiration. He gave us the black print. All we have to do is work toward it. And that's what we're doing now. Forget about the ones that don't want to be a part, the people that want to vote down ballot and vote Democratic for people that has never done anything for you. Let them continue. Let them keep marching and doing all that. Let them get all of the attention while we're in the background building. And that's how it should be. Let them get all the attention. But every time you look up, we building something. I'm hoping Blue got more phone calls. I've been on about 3-4 different channels in the last week telling people about Blue. This is a young sister. She got a virtual temp service. Call her. You looking to work from home? Give her a call. I don't put her number. Whoever would let me on in their channel, I put their number. Contact, because that's what we're supposed to do. Because she's helping people get jobs, and at the same time, we are helping her business, and that's what we are supposed to do. It's a certain generation that has failed. Me, I'll be 50 in January, and I hear people say, well, folks your age this and folks your age that. Well, I can say it like this. I can work with people in their 30s. I can work with people in their 20s. And you know what? If they're doing the right thing, I don't even mind them saying they finna lead the way right now. I'm gonna lead at this because they good at that. I have no problem with that. Cause see, they not gonna get me fighting generation. They gonna get some people like that. But I'm not gonna fight generations that came after me. Cause regardless, obviously my generation didn't do what we were supposed to do. The forecast in blue got to lead the way now. Obviously, my generation went wrong somewhere. So I don't mind working with people that's younger than me, saying they can lead the way. I don't mind putting them on a pedestal, talking about how smart they are and the things that they can do, because I want to see them do it. It don't bother me at all. And that's how it is supposed to be. We're a team. And I'm gonna always be here. I'll yield the mic.
Yo, what's up, Blue?
What's up, Blue?
Hey, what's up? Bros on. That's what's up. I'm so happy y'all be coming on because I unfortunately can't come on every single time, but like please, because it's only a lot of people do kind of get to, losing hope or get discouraged sometimes. And a lot of people talk, but they're I feel like it'd be a lot of talk and it'd be a lot of talking down on people, and it's really us trying to uplift and promote healthy things and stuff. So a lot of what y'all was saying is what made me want to chime in too, because you was mentioning a couple books and stuff about reading, and I know recently I was talking with Cass and told him that I thought it would be great to do like a movie club. Um, Most people are gonna probably pick and watch a movie than read. You got your readers, but everybody watches movies. So there's movies that I know has great messages in them that I feel if people watch certain movies, it'll help them grow. With seeing those things and how they play out. So I think that's what I'll go ahead and kind of do, since I don't do anything on my channel, really. That's something that I feel like it really help with. I've been watching some decent movies lately, and I know it would help. So I'll be doing that really soon. But I think we, like you said, we're kind of born into, just listening, obeying, and not even really thinking for ourselves. And I don't really think too completely that the generation before us failed. Honestly, I just feel like remember we're fighting people that have been doing these things for hundreds of years, so they're very experienced, and there's a lot of distractions. We got things going on that was not going on as explicitly and exposed as it is now. Like uh, body changes and changing your sex, that wasn't going on years ago. So there's so many levels of distractions, social media, that they have grown as well. We are fighting a psychopath, and they're willing to do anything to keep us stuck. you know so that's what I see as being the issue. And unfortunately, our relatives not being educated in the right areas, for so long. But I also think it's coming down to a point where we just don't know what's healthy or what's unhealthy, or don't know how to actually think for ourselves. So, they say speculating something. When you stand back, like if somebody tell you something, you stand back and you thinking about it. Speculation is a form of you thinking in self-defense or self-survival type of mode, So have we lost that, you know? Or do you not care about your life? Like this is not just what it is, waking up, eat, sleep, and going to work. We live in a world like that's beautiful, amazing, that we don't understand. We supposed to enjoy it. This may be heaven. We don't know that. It's a beautiful place. And I just wish we all got a chance to just enjoy it in a comfortable way, since our relatives have been through so much, and then experiencing it. Like I hadn't experienced racism until I was probably like 13, 14, maybe even like 15. Like I didn't experience racism until later on, growing up in New York. Just, I was always in a diverse area. Um, so it was shocking. So I feel like maybe most people, they also don't get to experience it personally until later on. And then that's when they kind of wake up. But, it should be kind of um, shown to you or given to you while you're in the home. Like your parents should be the one explaining these things to you, so that way you don't have to experience it and not know about it in advance, and know how to deal with it when it does happen, you know? But I think if we can kind of just come to a basic point for people that are so confused out here, and like, for a week or a month or so, like write down, healthy on one side, and then write down unhealthy on the other side. And then, each day go in and write down things that you did in that day that you would consider healthy, and then things that you would consider not healthy. So if you smoke, smoke tobacco, you need to go ahead and write that down, and how it could affect you, whether it's a physical, a mental thing. How much time did you spend on your phone, on social media, on TV? All that's kind of one, because you are watching something that's distracting you from being productive. So that would be unhealthy. That's excessive. It's okay to, do things for enjoyment, but when you do it for a long period of time, it's excessive. We are being paid to be distracted. It's too many apps that want you to play their games, watch their movies, watch their videos for payment. Ain't that weird to you? That's not normal. The goal is to distract you, so that way you can barely make it out of the hole and work for them. Somebody got to be the worker, right? Is that what you really want to do? Nobody really wants to work. Nobody says, "Oh my God, I can't wait to get up and go to work today," unless it's your dream job that you absolutely love. That's great. But nobody, even, you have those days where you just want a vacation. So that's the goal. And if we come together faster, quicker, this is something that we can accomplish, you know. And I'll go ahead and yield the mic for now. What's up, guy?
All right, what's going on, guy? And well, it was only 15 minutes, so I moved the video back another 15 minutes, But like I said, but what's going on, my brother, guy?
That was good. Was good. Hey, what's up, Queen Blue? What's going on? Brother Bakar was good. You know what I'm saying? Forecast, I love your show, man. This is a good topic. And I think this kind of relates to what I was saying about when I did the yeah, you was on my show last time when I was talking about Joe Biden and all that, and I was kind of criticizing these black Democrats. And it's kind of like I said, I just think that I think we're facing. It got to the point that some of our people are so far gone that you just can't help them. They will fight you, and even if you try to tell them, look, we go in circles, voting these people in office who don't care about us, and you got black people that would literally hate you, and you could be a really good person, but they would hate you or dislike you or be your enemy because you're not Democrat. You know what I mean? And even when you tell them, look, I'm not Democrat nor Republican, they looking at like, no, well, if you're not Democrat, then you might well be a Republican. You know what I'm saying? And then there's ones where they'll vote Democrat and they don't even care what this person is saying. They just looking at, oh, this person is Democrat and I'm going to vote for this person no matter what. And then you'd be like, yo, why did you vote that person? Why did you vote for them? Oh, because I don't want this Republican in office. You see what I'm saying? Never mind their interests. Never mind if they really listen to these people if they're fighting for their interests or, no. If they're Democrat, they're gonna ride with them. They don't care how they look, what they say. And we some of our people are just so far gone. And then it's like, when black people, some of our people are just is this strong self-hate where they don't want to be called African. They don't want to try to find out where they from. They're just like, well, my mother said that I come from a native Indian tribe, and they'll run with it without even doing any further research, because some of our parents, they didn't have enough knowledge to know about themselves. They've been told because during that period, it was a lot of, that was under the whole, Jim Crow laws, the anti-black laws, right? So a lot of black people, started to hate themselves. You know what I'm saying? They try to do whatever they can to try to make it, but they had to deny themselves in order to make it. You know what I'm saying? So some of our parents was putting that poison on us. So it's up to us to say, okay, wait a minute, if I'm from some native tribe, how come I'm not in no reservation? How come how come I don't have a native status card? How come I'm not in no reservation? How come I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Like these questions they don't ask. So we go along with the hokey doke, and we thinking that, that we're gonna make it that way. A lot of the times, a lot of black people is looking for a quick come up, and they don't care who they sell out. They'll sell like their own mama. So, I mean, it just got to the point now you can't save everybody. That's why I just said I'm not for all black people. So I'm just not, because that means that if I'm going to be all for black people, that means I'm for the black people that's pedophiles. I'm for the people that just don't like black women. Because you got these people in our race that they're obstacles. They're in the way. So I like family, pure people who just like pure, just love their race, and try to start a political union, as far as connected with the motherland. You know what I'm saying? Because every other race is doing it. You know what I'm saying? We're the only race of people that don't want to be connected to the motherland. Everybody else is connected to their motherland. So we just gotta be focused and try not to concentrate on these people that's in the way, because yes, they are a distraction. You know what I'm saying? We just got to be more focused on saying, okay, we know this out there. Let's stay focused on what we have to do. And like Sister Blue said, we gotta, and that goes with like health and what we watch. All that comes together. All that, because you talking about psychological health, you talking about physical health, and that is important to us, and that's what's going to make us live longer and do better. So I just want to say, and the last time I'm gonna say, I agree with all y'all on the panel. All y'all made some really good, excellent points. I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah, man. Yeah, and I appreciate Bakari, Blue, Guy. I appreciate all of y'all for coming on. And I ain't gonna lie, I ain't really mean for this to kind of turn into this conversation, but I'm glad it did. And just to let the people know, I moved the premiere back to like 9:30, just to give time to whatever. Because I know I ain't got a lot of time. Bakari may not have, Blue and Guy, everybody's time is valuable, and we don't appreciate each other's time, but we appreciate somebody else's time. Whereas you're gonna show up at work, you better not show up a minute late. You're gonna show up when somebody tells you to come, but we don't appreciate each other's time. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna say this, and then I'm gonna let everybody, and I want y'all to take as long as y'all want. You know what I'm saying? Don't rush it. You know what I'm saying? Take as long as y'all want. But I'm gonna say this. Like, I'm gonna be real because Bakari kind of mentioned it. I'd rather see this whole world be destroyed, right? I'd rather see everything destroyed, everything gone, everything vanished, than to stay up in this system. That's the kind of stuff I'm on. And I don't see how everybody else ain't on. Even like poor white people, they do what they do to them, but they ain't my problem. My problem is our people. You know what I'm saying? And I am knocking you if I am knocking you in your beliefs if you believe that, we need to go out and vote Democrat. We need to go out and vote Joe Biden and all that stuff. I am knocking you, even though it's my brother, it's my sister. I still got love for you, but I'm gonna knock your idea all day. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna knock your belief all day. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is because y'all sound like just like, oh, well, this is a good white man. This slave master is okay. Now that master, Donald Trump, he's terrible. But this master is cool. I know he said a lot of racist stuff in the past. That's how y'all sound, right? Y'all sound like a bunch of people that literally gave up on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't feel like you can build your own. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand that. How you really don't really have enough confidence in yourself to think that you can build your own. And I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't have the belief in black people. I do believe in black people. And, when I say I'm not as hard on the coons and stuff like that, I believe it is a mental illness. I'm going to say black. So I'm going to say, like, instead of Stockholm syndrome, I'm going to say black syndrome. I do believe that because, like it's a slippery slope, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be real, you know what I'm saying? And I'm gonna, put it all the way out there. Like my mom is somebody, I would be like, this is the name of a black dentist. This is the name of a black doctor. And she would say, oh, I'm not going to no black doctor. I'm not going to no black business because they do it like this and that. Would that be considered a coon? Like all of that stuff is a slippery slope. Then we start getting into ideology and like I forgot exactly how Blue put it, but that was like because I went back and listened and that was like so deep. She was like, we don't have to have the same idea. He was like, we don't have to have the same ideas, but it's the ideology that, or something, however she put it. You know what I'm saying? I got to go back and listen to it again so I can put it exactly right. You know what I'm saying? Like we literally fight over our ideology and we know what situation that we're in. Right? That's a sickness. We all got some level of Stockholm syndrome. We can't go to our job and they treat you different. They treat you horrible. They treat you how they treat you. And you have the power as a collective. That's what a real power is. But we believe in that this paycheck, you know what I'm saying? The only difference between us and the slave is you might make $15 more than them. You can quit your job, but go ahead and try and see if you're going to eat if you want to. That's called involuntary servitude. That's a part that is a reason why they put that in the 13th Amendment, because voluntary servitude is completely legal. You know what I'm saying? Where they can put you in a position where, if you don't get a shot, then you can't work, you can't eat, you can't do nothing, can't travel, you can't go to an event. And it's not about the shot, it's about anything that they want it to be. Because if you don't comply with federal guidelines, if you don't want to integrate your schools, then they can cut you off. Because Bakari mentioned it before when we talk about reparations. He was like, well, are you going to be willing to have to follow the guidelines of this, you know what I'm saying, whatever guidelines it is? But we have to start, first of all, in our own communities, you know what I'm saying, building our own stuff. Because the guy was like, what about the pedophiles? This is why we need our own, police. This is why we need our own institutions. And most importantly, that's why we need repercussions for disrespecting, harming, all of this kind of stuff on black people. This is why we need to be on the same page as a collective and come together and discuss stuff instead of just saying it on our own individually. You can create whatever you want in your own organization, but as a people, right, instead of arguing what we're going to call ourselves, we can scrap every name that's out there right now and say we're going to call ourselves the Planeteers if we want to. You know what I'm saying? We can do that, and then we won't argue about that no more. But that's the problem. If we're not arguing with that with ourselves, then we'll have to address the real problem. We'll actually have to face our real enemy. See, we don't have that mentality. We don't think that we can survive. We scared that your enemy will beat you. But I mean, we see time and time again, you can look at every single thing. The only difference is how much are you willing to sacrifice? I mean, we definitely have to teach our kids, but it's a shame that we sending our kids to schools in our community and we have to deprogram them when they get home because they're learning that Christopher Columbus discovered America. See, we don't take the time in our own communities to actually have respect for one another. And you don't gotta like everybody. You may fight with somebody. You may not like somebody. It don't even matter because guess what? At the end of the day, we all subject to the same thing. And I'm not even worried about somebody who wants to be a part of the system. But when you build your own, you give them an option. But it's not my choice to make their choice for them. It's my job to build something where I know I can be free. I don't know how much y'all want to be free, but being assimilated into somebody else's society. I mean, we know what the Corporation of America is. The Corporation of America is a business. And how are you going to be a part of a business if you don't got nothing to negotiate with? And we really think that we don't have nothing to negotiate with. But they had to kidnap you. That's why I keep saying it over and over and over. Right? They take your culture. They sell your culture. Right? They tell you your culture is basketball and music. But that's not what culture is. A culture is supposed to protect you, provide for you, and to make sure. I mean, do you agree with polygamy and all of that stuff? All of that is part of culture. And everybody can do whatever they want. But how bad do you really want it? You know what I'm saying? But the whole point is, you know what I'm saying, we have to stop with this white man's ice is colder nonsense that was beaten into us. And I know it was beaten into us, and I know the circumstances behind it, but at some point enough has to be enough. And it was enough in 1600, and here we are in 2021, and we still having the same arguments, we still having the same discussions. Build what you want to build, do what you want to do wherever you want to do it, but put it in the pot as a collective. Because I want to be in control of the food I eat. I'm mad that my mom has to get a shot every day because she has to take insulin. And when you look at the price of insulin, it's $900 some. Because America is a business. Nothing they do is for your benefit. Nothing they do is for your health. Nothing they do is to uplift you. Everything they do is to maintain power. So why isn't it that everything you do isn't to acquire power? Because that's the name of the game. Whoever can feed themselves, whoever can do all of that other stuff is in control of their own destiny. But people are so lazy, you ain't even willing to do that. And I'm not going to say that it's laziness. I'm going to say that you are scared. You don't love yourself enough to do it. You don't love your children enough to do it. You don't love your grandchildren enough to do it. You don't love your genes. You don't love who you are enough to stand up for yourself. And that is a sickness. So we got to have some kind of therapy. But, you know, my brother Bakari, my bad, y'all. I ain't mean to go off like that, but they keep going so long. But go ahead, brother Bakari.
You're good, man. And thanks for letting me on your panel, man. But you know what?
Take as long as you want. Take a long time too.
No, you know I ain't gonna be that long, man. I try not to be that long when other people, you know, when I'm on somebody else's panel and there's other people there. I try to be fair. Try to be anyway. But anyway, man, I thank you for letting me on, man. It was good sharing the panel with Guy and Blue again, and had a chat listening. But you know, your survival instincts is what you named it. But we have been in survival mode forever, right? Some people, they're selling us out willingly. They knew exactly what they're doing. Or some sold us out, knew exactly what they're doing. A lot of the time, those followers, don't know. They just follow. And they don't understand. Some of them doing it wittingly, some of it unwittingly. But we have to be careful when we building whatever we are building. You have to go through a vetting process. And we have to let other people get all the attention. You see what just happened to Grandmaster Jay of NFAC? And you know why they're doing that. They're doing that to scare you. Something you just spoke about. We need to police ourselves, right? So they're going to make up some stuff, probably give him some time. And they want black men to say, look what happened. So let's not do that. Like I had a couple ask me when I mentioned what happened with when the police cussed out my daughter and how I went at the police, right? Man, he had a gun on his side. You wouldn't worry about him killing you? I said, man, why do y'all always look at black people as losing? Why you don't ever think about, why do you say, man, well, you gonna kill him? Why has it got to be me? But you understand what I'm saying? It's the loser mindset. We already have the mindset that if we stand, that man cursed out my daughter, didn't show her no respect, didn't show me any respect because he saw me there, right? Because they know what black people do. The only thing they're gonna do is march, hold up a sign. That's all they're gonna do, right? But when he got something different from me, so then it's these were black men asking me. You wouldn't worry about him doing nothing to you. No, he should have been worried about me doing something to him. You understand? So the police in the community, the few soldiers we have, the few people we want who ready to get gangster, that's what we need to be. But I'm gonna say this, and it's a sad thing, right? When I go to the range and when we go shoot, and I talk to people out here on the corners talking about let's train shooting, it's way more black women willing. It's way more black women ready to go buy guns and do whatever than black men, from my experience. And I've been on other channels where black men said the same thing. Man, it's embarrassing when we try to get black men to come together and say, let's do this, this. Let's arm ourselves and protect ourselves. It's the black men that's saying no. It's the black women that's stepping up. So when I hear black men say a black woman is taking the man place because the black man is acting like a child to white people. They are acting like a child to the system. Now they'll fight a black woman, they'll argue with a black woman and they'll put her down. But let's talk about galvanizing. That's why if you ever go back and look at the NFAC march, you will see he had as many black women as he did men. Because there's more black women right now. What other man is willing to put their woman on the front line to fight for them? Huh? Your women ain't on the front line. Your woman ain't on the front line. Either you want her to be a woman or not. She's not supposed to be on the front line, but we will sit back and let our woman be on the front line for us while we sit back and watch. As black men, we got to do better. Like that show is coming, Forecast. The 4 pillars: respect, love, provide, and protect. That's what black men got to do. And I'm going to yield the mic on that, man. Thank you for letting me speak. Y'all check out my channel. If you hadn't heard of me, you heard of me now. Brother Bakari, y'all go check on my channel. Peace, one love.
Yeah, that's a fact, my brother. That's a fact. Yeah, Blue, go ahead, take your time, Blue. Say everything.
Sure. Okay, cool. I'm so uninformal. What's up to everybody that's on the chat that will listen, that is listening? Make sure you like and you share. You know, don't just listen. Don't be greedy. Share with your people, and reach out. And the brain is like the most important thing on your body. Is your brain. It's your brain that's telling you all the things that you wind up doing, and you think it's your brain that is in control of that. So when your brain has been played with for so long, that's why we do some of the things that we do. So don't hate yourself for, currently being in the position or the way that you are. It was handed down to you. It was beat into you. The world has tried to shape you like this. So it's going to be tough, because trying to change your mindset and the way you think about things, that's one of the toughest things. So it is going to be a process, that if you want more and want better and love yourself and your family, you're gonna be willing to do it, you know. And then when you think about it, it's like, how can you make a people want something that they never had, that they kind of never knew anyone around them in their family had? You know, we are comfortable and content um, with the positions that we're in, because our parents and them and so forth, this is what they made it to be for us, and what we just thought is what life is supposed to be for us. And then unfortunately, being that most of us have to grow up early, we lose, and our imagination is dampered, and we can't seem to envision anything outside of the regular basics in life. Because you imagine, if you were born and you lived in a mansion, and you and your family was able to afford whatever y'all wanted. Y'all had a family business that each person took turns out of. Y'all had land, farms, and y'all had access to anything you wanted. Could you imagine being born into that? And then if someone took it from you, you at least you experience what it's like to live in that type of lifestyle. So because we have not gotten a chance to ever get to that point, or see anyone in family that is in that position, it's like, how can we even imagine having that, or wanting that, and how to get there, you know? But all I can point out is to try to use your imagination on that one, to imagine if this was the case, that you would definitely be willing to fight for it, because you don't experienced it and you want that. You're not trying to let that go, you know. So that's why they are the way they are. They don't want to let that power go. They love living great on a high level, you know, and not having to work hard labor every day. So that's why they got a tight grip on it the way that they do. But we have to envision these things and think outside of the current situation, because if you stay focused and zoomed in on that, it's going to be a cycle, and it's very stressful. So determine what you're doing healthy and unhealthy, so that way you can kind of decide what things you can cut back on to help build your mental, um, everything, and it's also educating yourself. Um, you mentioned, Cass, about destroying the world. um, as crazy as it sounds, uh, it may happen. A lot of people, a lot of countries around us are, they would love to be able to tear up the U.S. You know, um, it may happen. It may come to that point. So that's a whole part of the reason why we also need to be preparing ourselves for anything. You need to have essentials in your home. You have to. We don't know what things are going to come to. The way gas prices is skyrocketing where I'm at. I'm like, well, damn. Did I fall asleep for a week? I thought it was just like it just happened overnight. And being in the area for a little over 20 years, it's like, you get to see the history of things, and we're living in a different time right now. You got jobs that are actually going to fire people. Like, this is the real test to me. Like you said, this is what they want to do, so they can actually apply this to anything. if this is not alarming you, that hey, somebody's telling me I have to get a vaccine, I have to get a shot, I have to take a medication, or I'm gonna lose my job. I have to take a medication, or I'm gonna lose my job. Like that is so bogus. That's it's unreal to me that this is what it's come to. Who knows what's in the vaccine? You know, I'm hearing of more people that has taken it, and they wish they never took it, but nobody's voicing this. You know what I mean? It's like you get it, okay, I got my vaccine, that's it. But what about the regrets that you feel afterwards? It's a tough situation. Um, and it's not just, you know, your mom. I know you pointed out an example, your mom looking at a black race and saying, oh, I'm not going to that shop, you know, because they're going to be like this and like that. It's a lot of people that think like that. It's a lot of people that think like that. And it's really sad. And I'm just the opposite. You know, if that's the case, tell them, you know what I mean? Don't just judge them and talk down on them. Tell them, can I speak to the manager, who's the owner? I want to give them some pointers. I had to do that in a business, a popular business in my area. I had to tell them. They moved to a new location, and I tried to call and place my order before coming, and they no one was answering the phone. I got to the location to read on the sign that, oh, we're around the corner here. I get around the corner there. I'm waiting like 45 minutes for my stuff, and I'm like, hey, is the manager here? They're like, yeah, they're sitting right there. I'm like, okay, I tried to call. Did you guys update your number on Google? You know, they didn't update their number on Google. You know, they were like, thanks so much for letting us know. But you know, that's how we should look at things instead of judging it. You know, because they definitely made it to another place that apparently, you know, you may have not. So don't be so judgmental, because nobody's perfect. And then wanna it's a song, Bob Marley song, Could You Be Loved? I think that's a really great motivational song. A lot of his songs are. Love Bob Marley. Um, but he was singing his heart out to try to give us messages. Okay, he wasn't just making up these words and telling stories that what didn't exist. He was trying to talk to us. You know, like, our people have been trying for a long time, and it's really I'm hoping that we get the anger and passion to want more, like want the best for ourselves. So I know it's about that time. I'm gonna remind y'all again, I'm gonna start like a movie club where I'll be pointing out certain movies that you know, you could either watch with your kids, family night, or you know, couple, what have you, that would really be great um, for the mental, you know, for mental notes, and hopefully make other things pop in your head, and see a different way of looking at things, outside of what you currently do. And definitely, if you're looking to work from home, I can help you out with that. Um, you can make your own schedule. I think that's the best thing about it, because I know a lot of people might have, you know, kids at home, might have to pick up someone. You can actually make it work. And whatever we got to do to try to help you get a job, you can do that. You can reach out at 804-250-1049, and stay on top of your kids. Let's push it to the limit, you know. Peace and love. I'm a yield.
All right, thank you, Blue. I'm glad you could come on. I'm glad you said that, and that was real talk. All right, brother, guy, yeah, take as long as you need, my brother.
Oh man, I just want to say thank you, Forecast. You know, for inviting me on your panel. I want to. I would definitely appreciate Blue and Brother Bakari for their wisdom, and cause I've always, every time I come and join y'all panels, man, I always learning something. You know what I'm saying? So And I know the people in the chat is learning, and people in the future is watching. Peace. Shout out to CJ. You know what I'm saying? Sister Raw. You know what I mean? But I just want to say, I think one of the biggest mistakes that our people have done was fight for equality instead of fighting for independence. We should, and if the majority of us is going to be in these public schools, they should have been a number one requirement where they say, look, if we're going to run the show, we're going to teach our kids about their history, their language, and we're going to reclaim who we are that y'all stole from us. We're going to reclaim it. So by our kids, and that's including, the names, because we shouldn't be calling our kids Peter and Paul and Michael, all these European names, you know what I'm saying? And see, and when you're dealing with the enemy, they do not want you to be who you are. They want you to be like them, because when you become yourself, you become more of a threat. Your name, if you changed your name into a real strong African name, that's a threat. That's a threat. Like that guy Grandmaster Jay, right? He was a threat, right? All our great leaders, Dr. King was a threat. You talking about strong, powerful brothers, Malcolm X, Marcus Messiah Garvey, all these strong black men. And sisters love strong black men, right? But then it get to the point now that our sisters, because they don't want to see us getting hurt or getting gunned down, or because we're being strong, they rather go after the weaker guys, the pimps, the players, the baby makers, you know what I'm saying? They rather go, the guys don't want the men that the sperm donors, that's how they would say, because they are less of a threat, they're weak. You know what I'm saying? They don't have to worry about, getting killed over political because they want political power. You see what I'm saying? So, because sometimes I ask these sisters, I said, damn, why did you get with a guy like that? And, they come up with I thought he was a nice, but come on, it's like, but then, of course they're going to say, well, then they turn around and say, well, yeah, I saw the signs. But I already know because most of these sisters will go after these weak men, and they know they're weak. Some of them don't even work. And then you got the black woman, she's taking care of them. You see what I'm saying? So it got to that point now that our sisters they decide to settle. And that's a problem. That's a problem. Everything that our people are doing is excuse me, I don't want to curse. Everything our people is doing is just backwards, man. It's unnatural, backwards. And I'm thinking, and I always thought, right? I thought we was evolving to become better and become perfect, right? After all our people went through, I always thought that we should become better. We should not go backwards. And I see a lot of that. I see a lot of this. Well, my father was a pimp, so I'm going to be a pimp. You see what I'm saying? Well, my father was my mother was a drug addict, so I'm going to be a drug addict. You see what I'm saying? And it just got to that point where you see just an ongoing cycle with black people, just an ongoing cycle. And even when people like us tell them, look, you're going down the wrong path, you shouldn't do this or whatever, they get jealous and they start hating, and sometimes they get to the point they will try to get you locked up. They will literally lie on you And it doesn't matter if they're a black man, black woman. They will literally lie on you just to see you get a record. Just to see because the whole because somehow people are just so jealous and so full of hatred. It's embedded in them. They so far gone where they just like, well, since you can't be better than me. You can't outdo me. Instead of looking at it like, well, if this person's make it, then I'll make it. We don't have that mindset where, hey, brother, you make it, I'll make it. Hey, sister, you make it, I'll make it. Because I know you'll come back and bring me up. You see what I'm saying? When you look at these white Jews, right? I see them do it all the time. And these guys don't have no education. But because if somebody else make it, they will put that person who has no education, who has no skills, and they'll make them supervisor over people that has education and skills. I've seen them do it. And no one says nothing. Why is it? And Brother Bakari has said this many times. Why is it when every other race of people become racist, they progress? I never heard white people say, or any other race of people say, hey, I'm a person of color. I don't even know what the hell that is. I thought we got past of the whole color thing. You know what I'm saying? Or you're colored. You're a colored woman. You're a colored man. I thought we got past that. Now we went right back to that. Are we people of color now? And that becomes cool. That becomes acceptable. Because hey, if I say I'm an African man or woman, then I become a threat. But they don't realize that's power. And we not clear. Power is within yourself. You got to have power within yourself before you start taking action and create a real powerful political system. It starts with the mind first. It starts within yourself. And if you don't have power within yourself, how the hell are you going to build and build a strong political system? And if you look at people like Brother Polite, he get made all this money off of black folks, but look what he's doing with it. He's out there showboating. He's out there going to Beverly Hills and spending all that money on white businesses. And that showed to me, when I see him, I see a man that's weak. Because if you're making all this money and you don't have one black-owned business to break bread with the people and build other people up, do what every other race is do and say, hey, you're racist. Well, hey, you know what? Every other race is racist. They don't talk about, I don't have no black person talk about Chinatown. But there's a Chinatown. Asians do business with Asians. No one says nothing. But every time we step up and we say something, if it's always some negativity, if it's not coming from our enemies, coming from our own damn people. Or you being pro-black. But they living in a pro-white system. Every day, their money is white. You know what I'm saying? You look at the money, white faces. So because my actions show pro-blackness, that becomes a problem. Or you scared? And just like all y'all said on the panel, we have so much heat for one another. We have so much heat for one another, but when it comes down to the enemy, all that's go out the window. All of a sudden, like Brother Bakari said, they want to go march and protest. But nobody don't want to shoot back. But when it comes down to their own brother and sister, they'll come with all types of weapons. And look what they did to Malcolm X. And yeah, I'm going to bang on the Nation of Islam because they know what they did was wrong. And you mean to tell me you got all that heat, all that firepower for one man, but 4 little girls got killed Where was the Nation of Islam? God damn it. Where are they at? 4 baby girls got bombed in that church. Where was the Nation of Islam? They was connected to firepower because one brother outdid all of them. Oh, we got to take them down. We will work with the government. We'll work with the CIA and FBI to take this powerful man down. And then this has been ongoing. Look what they did to our black people that set Dr. King up. He was set up by black folks, by his own group. Why would they tell this man, hey, come outside, come out on the balcony and get some fresh air? Dr. King said he didn't want to go outside. So we do this to each other. We do this to each other. You know what I'm saying? The white man, he just put the bone in there, and he'll just sit back and see if we're gonna get it or not. So we like I said, we are fighting 2 wars, and we got to be realistic. Queen Nzinga, one of my ancestors, Queen Nzinga, she had to fight 2 wars because when the Portuguese came over, they started recruiting her people, and they had her own people on the front lines against their own, and she had to fight her own people to get to the enemy. So this is more than just us against, it's us. I think, to me, we're, like I said, we got to be real. We are fighting 2 wars, and it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard. It's gonna be a struggle. And yes, maybe something serious has to happen for black people to say, hey, you know what? We have no choice to unite. But it's like, damn, dude, why I gotta wait till they get to that point? Why I got something tragic or something devastating for us to come together? Why we can't come together when things are going good? You know what I'm saying? By that time, to me, it's too late. It's too late, because I might by that time I'm be so battered down, so beat down, I might not want to mess with these dudes or mess with these people. Like, nah, don't come at me with that. Don't come at me with, oh, you pro-black now. Don't come at me now. No, you on your own. That's what you wanted to be. You on your own. You got to go get water and all that. And I might have to end up. I don't want to be like that, but it's getting to that point where I'm just like, I'm only going to be for people with a like minds. So that's just me. I'm not riding with no coon. I'm not doing that, because coons are dangerous. These people are dangerous. You know what I'm saying? So we got to be real to each other. We got to be honest. And I always every time, what makes me strong, I think about the great women and the great brothers and sisters that we had that fought and died for us. And that's what keeps me going. And that's what makes me a person I am, because I can't forget them. I can't. I gotta keep that struggle alive. And I tell people, you don't have to say that you're pro-black. Show it through your actions. The power's within you. You know what I'm saying? And yes, it's sad that, like Brother Bakari said, that you got black men out there ain't going to the gun range with the sisters. Now the sisters are feeling unprotected now because the brothers, they out there, you know, doing whatever. Some of them on a down low and all that. You know, I mean, it's sickening. It's sick. It's sick to my stomach. So, I think we have to. I think my solution is stick with people with a common interest and a common goal, with the like minds. And to me, I think that's where we can. Sometimes it takes a small group of people to run a corporate. I'll say to run the world. You know what I'm saying? When I look at and I'm just going to say this. I'm going to say this real quick. When I'm in these corporations, and you look at the people that's setting the rules, it's a handful of white folks. It's a handful of white folks at the round table. You can count them on your hands. And they're the ones who set the rules and the regulations throughout the whole company. You see that in the movies a lot. Like I said, check out these movies when you see a handful of white folks at the round table and they making decisions. They're the decision makers. They're the brains. And sometimes we got to be that brain. We got to be that brain to run a corporation, or run a system. And I think that's what we need to do. And thanks again, Brother Bacall, said this guy Hollywood Jr. If y'all haven't if y'all haven't subscribed to my channel, please subscribe. But thanks again, Sister Blue, Forecast, and I appreciate y'all. Peace.
Yeah, and I thank all of y'all, my brother Bakari, Blue, Guy. I appreciate y'all for coming on, and the live premiere coming up in 10 minutes, and I put the link in the chat to the video, and it's an example of the video that's coming up because in one story, a young brother tried to holler at a white girl, and he had no business doing it, but it led to a fight with the white girl's boyfriend, and the dude was armed, and he pulled out his gun and he killed the brother. And then the other story, and of course the white boy, he got charged with manslaughter and he got bail, got out. But the other story, a drunk white boy ran up on a brother, on his property. It was his neighbor, and they had constant battles, and the brother had a gun and he killed the white boy. He was charged with attempted murder, and he's still fighting the case right now. So, that's coming up in a few minutes. But, I want to say this to what Brother Bakari was saying. I know he had to go or whatever, but he was talking about the NFAC and like, look what's happening to Grandmaster Jay and all of that stuff. And people ask me, because I be saying Jew and like, faggot, because people are scared to say that. And guess what? J. Edgar Hoover was a faggot. And if you're worried about what I call him, as opposed to what he did, which was build his career off of destroying the Black Messiah, stopping the Black Messiah, then the problem is with you. You know what I'm saying? And people ask me, am I scared to talk about the Jewish people and all that kind of stuff? And my point is, I'm like, what is there to be scared? I'm more afraid not to do something than to do something, because they already did everything that they could do. Guess what? It already happened. They took your language, your culture, your history. Can you tell me who your great-great-great-grandfather was? We arguing about where we come from. They destroyed everything. So why are we afraid to do something right now? Because they've already done that. We have nothing to lose. We don't have anything right now. We don't have a hospital. We don't have a place where we can go. Like, I know I live in Richmond. I don't have necessarily a black supermarket where I can go to on the regular. I don't have black people in certain areas where I can go to on the regular. They destroyed it already. They've done that. And before integration, we had all of that stuff. We've done that. So I'm like, what else can we do? And my brother Bakari mentioned, about the black women and stuff like that, and Guy and Bakari can tell you more so about Marcus Garvey. But even in the early 1900s, Marcus Garvey had to start a movement because the women was more militant. Like Blue has her idea and stuff like that. And a lot of women I see have great ideas, and I'm not beating up black men because I am a black man, so that would include me. And that's what we got to start realizing. When we diss each other, if you are indigenous and you diss African, you're dissing yourself. If you're African, you diss indigenous, you're dissing yourself, because nowhere we go on the planet do we own anything. We allow somebody else to walk on our territory and take it. We've done that. That's what's happened. Now, what are you going to do? Are you going to let them still have it, or are you going to take it back? Right? Because I'm sure Blue can tell you, I'm sure, Guy, or Bakari, if you let a man come in your house and rape you, rape your wife, rape your daughter, your son, your grandma, your mama, all of that kind of stuff, and you don't do nothing about it, what are you going to do right now? Right? Are you really going to fight back right now? Because you've already done it. You know what I'm saying? They've taken everything from you. And Blue mentioned the movie about movies and stuff. And I seen this movie where these aliens, right? It was an alien movie, but they kidnapped the female who produced all the males, but every one of the males was willing to sacrifice themselves to free the female because they knew how they were able to survive. And I'm not saying to go kill yourself or nothing like that, so don't even take it the wrong way, but you got to understand how stuff works, how life works, you know what I'm saying? So when they run into your house and they rape everybody and you do nothing about it, they know that they got your heart, right? Because who doesn't defend their kids? I mean, I seen a bird, right? I have a dog, and I seen a bird have a nest in the tree near where I live at. And my dog went over there, and the bird was willing to go at my dog to protect their young. But you're letting somebody else violate your young. I mean, a bird, a pigeon will protect their young. Are you willing to protect yours? That's the whole point. You know what I'm saying? And like Blue was saying, they understood that it was easier to make a slave out of somebody who never knew freedom. You know what I'm saying? They knew that if you don't know freedom, how are you going to sit up there and fight for freedom? So, I mean, that's a good point, but we got to understand the power of the mind. Your thoughts are your reality. If you don't think that you are enough, if you don't think that you're good enough, that's going to manifest in your life. It don't matter what you think. Your thoughts are powerful. And we got to start realizing that. And, and like Blue was saying, we have to try to have fair conversations with each other. We got to try to talk it out. But I'm gonna be honest, like there are certain people that you can't talk to, and I'm not as hard on the coons as I keep saying, but there are certain people, like especially people who are like older and stuck in their ways. You can't teach them nothing because they think they know everything. Some people, and I'm not saying all older people, but especially a certain generation, you know what I'm saying? They are stuck in their ways. We got to understand that the children are the future. The same way that the kids never knew nothing, like the kids in kindergarten right now don't know anything but wearing a mask in school, right? That's how easily a psychological thing can be instilled into a child. Now imagine you teaching your kindergartners how to protect themselves, how to be free, how to not be a slave, right? That's all that they know. That's how things are changed generationally. And we wonder how we got to this point from where we were like 30, 40 years ago, where all of this gay stuff is all cool now. You know what I'm saying? Because they literally, you had the feminist movement in the 80s and 90s, and they start teaching it to your children. And now that the children are older, it's a part of the culture. That's how you change stuff generationally. And that's the whole point. We got to stop looking for the home run and looking for the sky to crack and start understanding that stuff is a generational thing. And to what Guy was saying about assimilating, you know what I'm saying? The truth is, like during the integration movement, they was fighting for equal funding, but that's why we have to be wary of these organizations who was, especially now, like organization that's pushing the Democratic Party on us and stuff like that. Those organizations that have been able to still survive, that's because they push a certain agenda. You know what I'm saying? And it was Thurgood Marshall and the NAACP who said the only way we can be integrated and be equal is if we have the same connects. But that's what we have to learn, that all of y'all are my connects. We need each other as connects. Like Blue is my connect, you know what I'm saying? For a lot of things, all of the businesses that she in, especially like the job thing, and you need to contact her. You know what I'm saying? My brother Bakari is the connect for the dump trucks or in the trucking and to shipping and stuff. My brother Guy is the connect. Rog, Pasta, Dwayne, you know what I'm saying? African, Child Swarbear, everybody that was in the chat, Melanin Always, my sister. That's the connect that we need each other. We got to stop acting like our connects is not within our own, you know what I'm saying, within ourselves, and finally I say, we have to stop this generational curse stuff. You know what I'm saying? If you're in the older generation and all of this kind of stuff, or anybody, don't push no kind of ideology that you haven't studied yourself. Like you pushing the Democratic Party. Have you actually studied the Democratic Party? If you're gonna tell me to vote for Joe Biden, you should have a reason why. You shouldn't just be saying vote for Joe Biden. You know what I'm saying? But as for the solution, you know what I'm saying? The solution is don't try to change nobody. The solution is start with yourself first. You know what I'm saying? Build the thing that you think that we need as a collective. Now, yeah, we need to put our money together to pool it and all of this kind of stuff. But if you believe trucking is the way out, then go build a truck company. If you believe education, then go build a school. If you believe whatever it is, if you believe it's the food and stuff, then go build that and then be willing to bring it back to the community. The answer is within yourself. It's never outside of yourself. The answer is all of us. Black unity is the Black Messiah. You know what I'm saying? So whatever you feel that we need, then create it and then bring it back to the collective as a whole. You know what I'm saying? But again, man, I appreciate all of y'all. It wasn't supposed to go this long, and the live premiere is coming up in like 2 minutes. So I appreciate Brother Bakari, Blue, Guy. I put y'all channels in the chat. Blue, I'm gonna get your channel so I can put it in the chat whenever you're ready, so we can do all of that kind of stuff. But I appreciate all of y'all for listening. I'm gonna put the link for the live video in the chat one more time. So the live premiere. So I appreciate all of y'all for watching, for all of y'all for listening, and much love. And as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.